he thinks Gyro is good against Lycan, right? But I think it goes like the top end carry players think it's the opposite, because Lycan can just kite. A lot of your damage is mitigated by the fact that you have multiple, like, you're not able to utilize one of your best damage dealing spells in the game, Rocket Barrage, because there's like 15 minions hitting you at once, right?
Yeah.
And Lycan just gets on top of you and like hits you, and Gyro doesn't really love that. He doesn't love people that can gap close against him where he can't Rocket Barrage to keep them off of him.
Seems like a matchup you need to be ahead if
Yes.
you're Gyro to have a chance.
But it's hard because Lycan just farms really quick, and his pace of game is much faster than yours nowadays. And that's a weird thing because Gyro's usually the carry that, paces very fast.
Anyways, kind of neither here nor there at this point. They've gone for the Faceless Void, though, which... How do you feel that matches up against the Lycan?
I think it's a really free Timbersaw game, which means that it might be a little rough. Like, I don't think Void dies. Really, like, the one-to-one matchup, like, Void, if he has a good laning phase, is good against most cores because Chronosphere is, like, the best team fight ability in Dota. So I think that's how I usually look at it, is, like, will the enemy carry have, like, a good laning phase? I don't think Void dies, but I don't think he has a fun time against Timber.
We'll see how some of these lanes pan out. It is going to be Timbersaw currently playing in the off lane with the help of the Fissure block. We did see Jabs there manage to secure the Bounty Rune against the Snapper. I didn't actually skill anything. I feel like he almost could have gone for a kill there, but he wanted to hold his skill point for now.
I think he's probably trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do here. And you're going to see Zephyr go pull the wave. I actually don't think he needs to do this. There's one play he could make where he pulls the wave and then he gets his level 2. And he cuts like the wave under the tower. But again, I don't think he necessarily has to make that play either.
I mean, you think Timbersaw should just have a pretty free lane regardless and not need the help of the Shaker?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we're going to find out. That's going to be put to the test. Cuckoo here doesn't he get bailed up by Zephyr. Still just the level 1 reactive armor until you maybe get that second point. It can be a bit of a tough lane for him, especially if Void gets lucky with some bashes. Definitely one of those matchups that can be very much affected by the RNG.
Yeah, just everything I know about this matchup tells me that Void won't have the easiest time, but maybe it doesn't matter if this bottom lane goes very well.
Usually Phoenix level 1, not weak necessarily, but definitely not like considered a scary kill threat laner. And if you land all 4 Fire Spirits one by one, perhaps that's where the damage kicked in, but yeah, very early.
Okay, so he went bash level 1, he's going to die here for this.
Oh yeah, hasn't got any points in the time walk.
He needs the creeps to die right now. That's what Jabs is trying to do. Yep. He was trying to last hit as fast as he could. He wasn't even trying to like help him. They're both going to die here. Like, I think this is such a free lane for Cuckoo.
Yep.
The problem is they needed to solve for 2 different problems at once, which is what hero is good against Timbersaw, but also good against Lycan. And all the heroes that are good at are single hit targets. Like, but you have, for example, Ursa, which is good against Timber, but bad against Lycan.
Yep. And Void at least is going to give them some big team fight. You're looking at Void plus Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's scary, but can the Void have a game? I mean, we saw that level 1 bash. That's the reason why they were almost able to threaten to kill the Timbersaw, but the downside was there was a huge like triple creep wave under your tower, and you were still level 1.
Also, by the way, if you're a carry player and you're not sure why you want to push out the wave, I know a lot of people live in the past where it's like you want to freeze the lane, have it under your tower, but it's actually the exact opposite. The way that professional Dota, I feel like, is played, for the most part, you want to push out the wave so you have more creeps to be able to harass with, and they can't get on top of you as easily. Also, it allows your support to have a purpose in the game. Like, he gets to pull and like play normal Dota, and I feel like you can't do that if the lane is always in your face. Your 5 position has nothing to do, whereas right now they're just going to double wave him on the tower and kill him. But when you push out the wave like this, like as you can see, the Ogre gets to pull. The Void is still relatively safe. Yes, you're giving the Timbersaw a little bit more farm, but you're also taking away his ability to just dive you under the tower. Yeah,
you're giving him a little more fun, but you're also denying him a full creep wave with that double stack at the small camp. So
yes,
definitely a lot more pros than cons as far as what they're doing. Unfortunately, it's just Timbersaw alone up there. Zephyr's being able to roam around. He's looking to threaten a kill on mid lane. Forces out a Fairy Fire use there. If he didn't pop that Fissure in a couple of seconds, may have gotten a kill. Back at bottom, Whitemon Getting brought pretty low here, but he
DJ's
doesn't go
dead.
down, and yeah, DJ's committed the dive. He's just going to die to this one. Raven picks up the kill.
Oh boy, and Geek Fam are off to like pretty insane start.
Yeah. They're tipping and everything, you know, they're feeling good.
Yeah. Something that Cuckoo did, by the way, and he didn't go for the Whirling Death. You're not against a strength hero. It's not as value. He decided to go for the level 2 Timber Chain, which I think is the right idea. That's what allows them to net that kill.
That's what would Boxy be doing that on Timbersaw? He's
so. Maybe he'd even go 0-2-2, honestly. What I think the reason why he decided to go for the this build is because he wants to use one ability to force the Void to time walk, and then pop the other after he's done that. That's the only way you get harass off.
We're seeing so far Timbersaw have a pretty good time, although kind of similar CS to the Faceless Void, who is having the help from the support in a 2v1 lane for the most part. DJ will secure the bounty rune, even with Zephyr rotating on over, and Zephyr is in some trouble here. If he's not careful, one more Fire Spirit landing is going to finish him off, but DJ ran out, and Zephyr will get away with the Trinkle Boot, so he doesn't even have to necessarily go back to base.
All 3 lanes right now for them going really successfully. This Lina versus Void Spirit matchup, by the way, is like one of the few heroes that has a really good time against Void Spirit.
We're seeing him just fissure block into some right clicks. He's going to force him to dissimulate away. The LSA is there waiting for him, though, and Moon getting constantly harassed. He's already bought raindrops and chewed through almost all the charges.
Oh boy, that does not feel good.
Yeah, it's helped him stay in this lane,
They're
but
all
that is
gone?
a lot of gold. Yeah.
I think Zephyr might be dead. Oh no.
He's fine.
Moon's not actually going to contest for it.
Yeah, Moon goes for the rune. Luckily, still there for him to refill his bottle. Well,
this lane matchup is one of the few where Void Spirit does not. He doesn't love it.
okay. Why do have we not seen as much Lina? I feel like that's a hero we used to see all the time in the mid lane and has kind of disappeared a bit.
I think she's not a game winner, if I'm honest. I think she's win the lane, lose the game kind of hero. Like, if you're not sure what you want to play, I think she's okay in a pinch. But there have been multiple times in my life where I picked the hero and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, there's so many better options. Like, maybe your lane is like marginally better with Lina, but she's still glass cannony. Like, it's really easy to have this really net worth like heavy Lina, and then she dies in one fight, blows it all, and all of a sudden your game is terrible because this hero really relies on snowballing. And I think with the XP change, it's actually worse because she's gonna go like 6-0 to start a game because she's so far ahead in net worth, and then she dies one time to a Chronosphere, and you have no way to protect her, and she doesn't have very good stats. She has no armor or HP. You just die.
Do you think that's something we're potentially going to see this game? I mean, the Fnatic have 4 heroes with kind of gap-closing capabilities. All 3 cores can get on top of her. Phoenix can do so.
Yeah, I think so. Like, for example, you pick Storm. He's got a worse laning phase against Voicer. Still pretty good. But you would actually have an Initiator that could get on top of people, that could get on top of the Void. Maybe your laning phase is like 20% better on Lina, and you can zone the Void Spirit out a bit, but when it comes to the actual game, you just have to play so careful. It's like the Quap conundrum. You know, you go 20-0 in Quap and you die once, and life's rough.
Well, the upside of Geek Fam's draft, perhaps more what the panel was saying in these side lanes. There's no real good answers for the Lycan. Also, theoretically, the Timbersaw, but he dies in the top lane with the Void picking up the kill and supports up there helping out.
I'm very surprised that he died.
I think Void Spirit was up there. Maybe that's the reason why.
That makes sense.
Looks like
yeah, he does have an assist.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, to the two of them, to, you know, Ogre, Faceless Void, I don't think there's any way they can just kill Cuckoo unless he... The way that he would have to die is he'd have to have no stacks, run into their tier 2, get stunned like 6 times.
Raven finds himself a solo kill. That was without the level 6 being used, just the summons and the right clicks, it looks like. Nice size. Just gotta be careful. There's a nice, big, juicy neutral stack here is being farmed up by Fnatic. Phoenix desperately needing some levels is going to leech some of this experience.
Oh, man. That feels nice.
The double neutral item drop.
The neutral items that he got were kind of How do you feel about Mango Tree? You a fan?
I'm not a big fan. I think I'm more from a spectator point of view. I hate how they just live in the base. I'm still, always trying to put them on cliffs and things, even though they get dewarded. But I hate how easy they just get dewarded so fast. It's kind of like a one-time observer ward where you can just like force a fight underneath it, perhaps, because you know they're going to come try to deward it.
I wonder what the value is like versus planting it in your base.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps you could make an argument for saving it for like 30 to 40 minutes and then using it as an observer
nobody has
ward.
callings and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many heroes with like force staffs and tree cutting capabilities, but yeah, definitely a neutral item that seems in a weird place.
When it used to be able to plant on that Roche cliff, I hated life.
Oh yeah,
it was the stupidest item.
Yeah.
Have they placed it yet, by the way?
Oh, not that I saw. So here we go, hook shot in. It's going to be Clockwork finding Valina, who does manage to break her way out of the cogs, but here comes Moon, misses the Remnant, can't pull him back in, but has the Void step to catch up to Carl, and yeah.
He missed all his spells, and as a result...
Yeah. Isn't gonna this kill. Carl's looking to turn and fight. He's got an LSA, I believe. Yep, you betcha. Cancels Moon's TP and secures the kill as well. Everything going poorly for Fnatic here.
Ice needed to bump him back. He had to go to the left.
And then push him towards the Void Spirit.
The Void Spirit, and then they probably get the kill. If you, so one thing I find when you play Lina versus Clockwork, I find that when you trap them in the cogs with you, Lina has such high attack speed that she actually gets out of the cogs really quickly, like has no problems with it, and then you're faster than Clockwork because you've used both your spells hopefully to build up attack speed, and then you just run away.
Well, Geek fam have secured themselves a 2k gold lead. You can see Lina and Lycan leading the way as far as last hits go, and getting a lot of farm. Timbersaw not too far behind as well. His net worth well ahead of most of the Fnatic cores other than this Faceless Void. Lycan's Necrobook timing well ahead of the average on this patch, so that is good news for Geek fam.
He's actually such a good Lycan.
Yes.
He lost that game. He was at one point 15-0, and he lost, so if they end up losing this game, if he goes like 16-1 or something, I think he will never ask for this hero again.
I will say the reason he's so far ahead of the timing is probably because a lot of Lycans go Helm the Dominator first, or at least that used to be the build. Only more recently are we seeing the Necrobook rush. So he's not necessarily like... Obviously, he's having a really good game, but this is not like, oh my gosh, he's breaking all kinds of records. Here comes Clockwork, hookshot in, goes on the Snapfire, who's just going to immediately cookie on over a little mini cliff here as Whitemon realizes he's got no real escape. He's going to turn and throw what spells he can before he goes down. Fnatic still chasing. They've got a Chronosphere, but I don't think you want to drop that on Cuckoo, who's got a Hood, Bracer.
And he's got stacks built up now.
Yeah, he is more than taking it.
I love this whole thing of nobody going boots anymore if they have any sort of mobility spell.
Like the Lycan, or who else? Oh, Timbersaw as well also doesn't boots.
Yesterday I saw Whisper play Puck, and he went Spirit Vessel into Force Staff Gods. And today I had a Quap go full Yule's Orchid and Hex with no boots. And I very nearly reported that man.
A bit suspect. Brown boots alone do not feel like a very value item.
No, but
to get early on. But yes, I mean, that's the thing. If you're a Treads hero...
For Lycan, it kind of makes sense.
Yep.
But for Timbersaw, you still have mobility issues. Like, you don't want to always use Timber Chains to run around everywhere.
295 movement speed.
That's so bad.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, similar to Puck, like, you're not orbing everywhere you walk, so...
You're going to have mana issues. I mean, he just bought himself a Clarity.
Yeah. For a hero like Timbersaw, where Necrobook is like your farming item, also your ability to take towers, like, yeah, it makes sense. You don't get boots until after the Necro 3, perhaps.
Yeah.
I do imagine he will get those boots. We'll find out.
Oh, they're going to make a move.
They got the damage for Cuckoo. They get the Fire Blast to stop his Timber Chain away. Cuckoo very tanky with the Hood, but he's going to look to turn and fight and go on the Phoenix here. They're going to drop the Egg, the Supernova to try and bring him down. They managed to get the kill while holding onto Chronosphere, but they did require one of their big ultimates to be used. Back in the mid lane, Ice has gone, led the charge here. The Snapfire trying to turn this one around, but the damage is just going to perhaps set up a kill on Ice. They've already lost Alina, and Ice, he's maybe found his way out of this one, at least for the time being. He's being chased down, shouldn't escape. He tries to
He cocks both of them in with him.
Yeah.
He's too fast.
Impossible scenario for Ice 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 to juke, and a lot of scribbling on the map there.
By who?
That's a good question.
That's a green dot?
That's Pink now doing some scribbling down bottom.
Yeah, that's Jabs, but I think the original one was the Lina. That was an
Okay.
angry push out top. What do we play here?
Yes. Well, here come Fnatic, following the line led by Jabs, the captain of this team, looking to find Zephyr here, who's very close to a Blink Dagger. This would be a nice kill for them to get. And with the Fire Blast multicast, they find it with ease.
Jabs is so smart. Okay, so now they are rotating top-ish on the side of Geek Fam.
It's some more teal lines being drawn on the map saying, you know, don't play in this area.
Yeah.
That's the dead lane, as Brian would call it.
Let me say, if I did that in a pub, you know I'm mad. When I'm like scribbling,
Yeah.
I'm drawing out X's instead of saying. That's a real passive-aggressive move. But I think he's probably just doing it because it's faster and easier.
And these are two teams who at least be a little bit concerned and maybe on edge because of their record so far in the group stage.
You're playing for elimination. This is pretty much your finals, is how you should look at it. If you don't win, you don't get to play anything else anyways.
They're definitely not holding back at this point. No saving strats. And Fnatic have managed to kind of bounce back after a rough start. Geek Fam had like a 2 to 3k gold lead just like 8 to 10 minutes in, and it looked like they were going to kind of run away with this one, start taking some towers and just run all over the map. But despite having this really fast Necro through and Lycan, things have slowed down. You can see that win probability. Gaben likes Fnatic's draft here. They like the big team fight, the Faceless Void, the Phoenix combo. This is something that's tried and tested and just wins Dota games.
I think there's two problems right now. One, I don't think the Lina has leveraged her beginning early game lead enough. Like, I have not felt the presence of Carl in this game. And two, I have not felt the presence of Cuckoo in this game either. I think he is getting a little bit into the Timbersaw trap where, you know, you get ahead and you suddenly decide you're invincible, so you'll just do whatever you feel like. That's the easiest way to throw back your lead on heroes like Timbersaw.
23 Savage. Chrono's on cooldown, so it looks like it was used to kill off Zephyr. Once again, killing the Shaker, trying to stop that Blink Dagger pickup.
Yeah, and he was so close to it.
Yeah.
This is just going to delay it by another 2 minutes. And
seems to be the item Geek Fam are waiting for before they maybe group up or something.
yes. But Raven, we'll see if he can keep things together. And he's having a very good game. One thing I will say about Raven, the best compliment I can play a carry player is he always feels like he does something with his net worth. I never feel like he is missing in the game. Win or lose, feels as though he is a big presence.
Yep. When you go back to the old TNC squad when they were, you know, upsetting OG and stuff at TI, he was the player everyone was kind of hyping up at that time. Hasn't maybe found too much success since then, but the teams he's been on, he's always been one of the standout players.
That was when they joined Fnatic, actually, right? Him and
After the
Raven.
TNC?
Yeah.
They find a pick-off. It's just a Jabs kill here, and elsewhere, perhaps bigger fish being fried as Fnatic go looking
that's massive.
for Raven, and they'll kill him. That's it. I mean, that's the tempo hero. Perhaps the caster curse striking a bit there. 600 gold being given to Moon. Big bounty for him. He's gone for a first item Desolator, so going for this physical damage build. Not your everyday Void Spirit build. Why the Deso this game?
So it's either one of two builds. You either go for the Blade Mail or for the Crystallis. Those are the two that I've seen in Southeast Asia at least.
Okay.
It's really common. I don't know how good the Blade Mail is in this kind of game. I feel like there's a lot of regen on the other side, and it actually doesn't really help you too much. I think he maybe thinks they have damage issues, which I would agree with. If you have a Clockwork as your 3, not a lot of damage. You have a Faceless Void as your carry. Until Void gets items, he actually has huge damage issues.
Blake Echo. They're going to try Stunlock the Faceless Void. They managed to get the LSA and the Cookie to follow up the Shaker's initiation. They blow up 23 Savage, who gives up a nice 600 gold bounty himself. Spitfire throwing out the ultimate.
Oh, and
Yeah, hook shot in. Ice has gone aggressive. He wants to get the lead. He'll succeed in doing so. Moon's now swung in as well, and Whitemon's going to be careful.
They need to protect this backline.
Yeah, the Timbersaw. He manages to help save the Snapfire for now. Moon's going to find himself a way out of this one. With the help of the Fire Spirit. Oh! Okay, nice Timber Chain in. They're going to drop the egg just to keep himself alive. Ice is looking to turn around. He's got the Remnant there to help him out, but not sure if they can take this fight with a Phoenix Sunray. They may likely have the damage to actually bring down this Timbersaw, and you bet
nowhere to go. No trees.
No trees, no escape. Phoenix, one of those heroes that does do pretty well against the Timbersaw with all the magic damage and the percent-based damage of Sunray.
Yeah, and both teams actually gained there, but Geek Fam got the better of it because they were able to take out the carry and the mid. As we're going to see here, nice Echo Slam by Zephyr. He pops down the ward just to make absolute sure that he has vision.
Well, I don't think because it's nighttime, they maybe didn't even see the Void until they did plant it. So very clever little move.
Good perceptive heads-up play.
Yep.
Here's where things went wrong. It's when Timbersaw decides to go for that. I think if he actually stays with Alina.
We'll hop ourselves out of it as there's action going back on in the live game here. Phoenix in all sorts of trouble here. The hook shot coming on in to his teammate DJ. He still ends up going down. The damage over time being a bit too much for him. The Lycan summons on top of him finish him off. Now Fnatic in retreat, but they get a great two-man Chrono.
Wait, that's on three.
Actually three. There's a third on the back. It's the Timbersaw. He can't help out his buddies. They're going to lose the two in the front lines, and all Cuckoo could do was just stand there stuck in time and watch, and Lina in trouble as well. Carl is going to be careful. The Void step forward means he's going to dodge the LSA and completely deletes the Lina. Next in line could be the Timbersaw. He manages to chain himself out of there, but one Void Bash could spell his demise. He luckily chains himself to the higher ground. Ooh. You mentioned the problems with the Lina, and we're seeing it. This is a tough Lina game.
Like, even the Void Spirit, even though he was, he was getting bullied out of his lane, naturally hard lane, and he had the Earthshaker to contend with, he just doesn't really do anything. Like, as soon as Lina hates gap close. Lina hates when heroes get on top of her, because she just doesn't have natural ways to defend herself. She's not really like a bully in that same regard. And we're going to see the fight start here. And 23 Savage, who we said he needs to step up. I mean, that Chrono was picture perfect.
It was.
And they get another kill on Raven during this time.
Just respawned and instantly dies. I guess his shapeshift wouldn't have been back up, so.
Yeah, and now they have a BKB up on this Void Spirit. I don't think he's going to die. There's a BKB up on Faceless Void.
Blink, Echo Slam, they've gone in. They're looking to
he's
bring
so
down
alone.
23 Savage. We've seen this too many times this tournament where he's farming alone in places he shouldn't, but he could have set up a good fight. Yeah, with the Void Spirit rotating on in, they're trying to turn this one in their favor. Lina just going to die and melt to the supernova damage. Coming in from behind is Ice.
Shredder's not enough.
Yep, Ice is going to block him off with a really nice cogs. It's preventing Cuckoo from retreating here. They're just burning him down. The Sunray is there now as well. They take out a third, but they are losing their lives in the process here. Luckily, though, Moon's still very healthy. He's fishing for more, but with the Lycan respawning, I'm not sure he wants to chase for this Earthshaker kill.
23 Savage just has to be more patient.
Yeah.
Truth be told. I think in this game, sometimes he will be in the right areas, but he'll just rush things. Like, his team has made a big play happen. They kill the Lycan. Just wait it out a little bit so that the rest of your team can catch up, be there for you. But instead, the fight still works out. But I just feel like he's taking a lot of unnecessary risks.
Well, playing against Shaker, even when you've got a BKB, you've got to be so careful because of that insta-stun lock potential. And we'll see where Fnatic go next. They've got themselves a 4K gold lead and have to probably feel pretty good about the potential of their team fight. As long as they can stop this Void from getting bursted from full health, which if heroes like Clockwork are there, they can always interrupt that Shaker combo. Here comes Moon. Invis up will get some intel for his team behind enemy lines, although a sentry ward there, I believe. Yeah, they saw him. They're pinging him. They may look to burst him. They drop another sentry here. Moon, I think he maybe caught wind that something was amiss by the way they walk, but he's going to get caught by an LSA in the trees, and they are going to delete him. Great play from Geek Fam, scouting him out with the sentry and planning another one, setting a trap for him.
Really like that play by them. They set that up so that he had absolutely no wiggle room.
Yep. Can't even totally fault Moon for it, because if there is no sentry there and he scouts out the entire enemy team, he sets up the perfect fight for Fnatic there. So,
and instead they're going to walk in a Roche pit. There is Chrono, there is Egg. I don't love that attempt by Geek Fam.
yeah,
I think that is still a good 4-on-5, and they have no idea whether or not Void Spirit has buyback.
they get out of there very quickly. Think twice about it. We did see the odds pop up. It was very even between Fnatic and Geek Fam a few minutes ago. Are you feeling like either team has an edge as we kind of head ourselves into the late game right now?
I think Fnatic have a very big edge when it comes to the late game. I think their team fight is better. I think their supports... Maybe the support factor is actually where I think I prefer Geek Fam supports when it comes to the late game. I think Sapphire Earthshaker is always going to be useful.
Yep.
But Phoenix Ogre, especially Phoenix, he makes up for both of them. Let's say that. He's strong enough for the two of them.
One of the best late game supports.
Yeah, he's going to get Shivas, which is insane this game. It's very good against the Lycan, that passive attack speed slow. And I think that one issue with Geek Fam's lineup is they're going to run out of ways to initiate. A lot of this comes down to Zephyr, and I think he's having a very good game. In fact, I think he's playing the best on his team right now. Very good positioning, good team fights. But I think his job is a little bit too hard. He really needs one of his cores to step up, especially this Lina.
Fnatic, smoke up, but good positioning from Whitemon. We'll scout it out from the high ground. Lycan's got a BKB now. That's perhaps what Geek Fam have been waiting for a team fight, but the team fight's going to come to them. Hookshot in. They've gone in with Moon's BKB on the Void Spirit. He's managed to catch Zephyr, and that's the key hero for this team fight, and they don't have him anymore. No buyback on Shaker. Bored out, and they're going to drop a Chronosphere just to bring down this BKB Lina. 23 Savage says, why the hell not? He pops a BKB himself. A lot of ultimates and BKBs being committed on both sides, particularly by Fnatic, but they come out on top with a tier 1 tower.
If they get Roche, then this was 100% worth.
Well, they've got themselves a little window, 40 seconds on Lina, 20 on the Shaker.
Yeah,
With Bloodlust, they can kill this fairly quickly.
And you continue to see why Lina, not a value pick at all. You're going to get chronoed. It's just inevitable. But what item do you really build to stop that? And really nothing. I guess you could go like Shiva's Aether Lens, but are you really feeling good about having BKB Shiva's Aether Lens? Not really. I just feel like they have a lot of lane winners that don't really parlay into a win.
I mean, you mentioned different mid options, like, you know, the heroes that can have bad lanes and still have an impact on the game. And that feels like where, you know, if Geek Fam had a mid that wasn't just getting jumped on and killed every fight, this game could look very different. But as what we're seeing, Lycan, Timbersaw just don't have that playmaking mid to really play around.
Yeah, they're just waiting. And that's why Zephyr is, like, so important in this game. Every time he's found an Echo, they found a kill. But his job is, like, it's way too hard. There's too many things that he has to focus on or think about. And there's the big problem is like the philosophy where you have an Earthshaker who's looking to set up every fight, and you have cores that are looking to run away from every fight. This Lina, every fight that starts, she's just afraid. She's like already immediately looking to backpedal because people are getting on top of her.
As a Shadowblade queued up, perhaps that will help with the positioning and survivability. Definitely won't help with getting chronoed.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of BKBs on the side of Geek Fam, and this should be where, you know, for better or worse, they should feel they're strongest. But it's not like anybody from Fnatic is under farming. Jesus, like DJ has so much farm.
He's, you know, doing his DJ thing where it feels like he's as much of a core as Ice, and perhaps more so in a game like this. It's always nice when you have Clockwork as a 3 position to have that 4 that takes farm, because Clockwork does not.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything with farm. He also doesn't farm particularly well, even if you're rocket flare spamming waves. So,
like, look how slow this is. He's just battery assaulting waves. Dude, try your best. And Zephyr is looking for an initiation. Really, that's their best way back into the game is a multiple hero Echo Slam.
Rocket Flare does fly over and scout them, but Ice thinks twice about going for any kind of initiation with a hook shot. A lot of good Radiant Vision down near this bottom lane. So things are settled down. Neither team looking to really fully commit to a fight, especially Geek Fam when there's that Aegis in play on the Fnatic side.
I like this from Geek Fam though. They're still playing aggressively, despite the fact that you know, there is an Aegis on the other side and they are losing. You have to get something on the map at some point.
Oh, he just walked into this one. Remnant's going to pull him back in. This is like a full duration Sunray damage. He's still alive though. Ooh,
misses the hook shot.
Yep.
They're really committing for this kill.
They want Cuckoo. They know he's the player that can sometimes perhaps tilt and make some questionable plays. We saw it a bit earlier when they went for Roche, where he fed away his life, and I think that's what Fnatic were banking on there. But
this is a nice split, but look at top.
Oh no, it's the
You are
Chronosphere. Doesn't matter what you do, this Void will find you, and there's no escape. He pops the BKB. 23 Savage, really a perhaps bit antsy popping that one, but not
I'd
the end
rather
of the
him
world.
be more careful than not.
Yeah.
Maybe he's afraid the Lina, like, Yule stuns him, BKBs, and then force staffs out and TPs.
Yeah, it could have yields the Void, forced out the way. He doesn't know who's nearby on his team maybe in that moment. Back at mid. Initiation in. Cuckoo's gone charging in forward. Wants Ice Ice Ice. Ice 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 spider legs out of his cogs. A really cute little play. And Cuckoo's in some trouble. The Sun's going to interrupt his timber chain here. And with the egg down, they could be causing some problems here. The egg is going to be blowing up in just a second to the south. It manages to stun up one. That's going to be the death of Cuckoo, perhaps. No, the hookshot misses again. Fnatic just can't catch this wily little Timbersaw. Have they got the damage? It's going to be DJ with the Fire Spirits and the dive who manages to finally bring him down. A double kill, in fact, for the Phoenix.
Yeah, they do lose jabs, but this Phoenix is massive.
Yeah.
No way around that. And even without the combination of using both the egg and Chronosphere, they don't even need it. They can independently use them to pick off just because of how farmed he is. I mean, he's level 21 and the Slykin is 17.
Oof. And it's like he's getting all this farm, but he's also, I imagine he's probably got the most damage dealt on his team.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
the Void Spirit, but it's probably close between DJ and Moon.
He's the same level as his Faceless Void right now. He's pretty much a core. I will proudly proclaim him as a core, in fact. He's just a really strong hero.
We were talking about it earlier, you know, DJ used to be a bit of a core player, and I feel like it shows up in a lot of Fnatic games, whether it's heroes like his Phoenix, his Enigma, his Shadow Shaman. He loves to get items, and he makes good use of them.
All fours are former, like, mid players that, you know, by happenstance they had to play.
Yep.
They had to play 4. I was like, oh, well, I guess nobody else wants to do it.
I mean, at least 4 is probably like the closest thing to playing like the old school mid where you're like a true playmaker.
The grab back.
Yep, they're going to pull in the Lina, who just doesn't stand a chance. Nice Blink Echo Slam coming in from the Shaker,
They got
but there's
their
no
BKBs
follow-up.
off.
Yep, they got the BKBs off, and the Cogs pushback completely interrupting him. Shaker's going to buy it back, but this fight looks all but over. If they lose Kuki here, he does not have buyback, and they're looking for more. The Snapfire goes down as well with a buyback, but not
Flee,
sure they can do
Raven.
a whole lot. Yeah,
They tip him as he as he runs.
You want to shapeshift, run away.
By all means. And they catch him! Oh, boy.
Well, good luck, Raven.
He's
Ice Ice
gonna
Ice. He
left
dropped
him
the
in
item.
the cogs.
You can't. Yep. Watch Ice Ice Ice.
Oh, my
Moon's
Lord.
even joining in. We got to see
Why
this
are
one.
they
They're
doing
letting him
this?
live. Moon. He's gonna let him live. He's giving the BM is real. Fnatic, careful. You haven't won this game yet. We saw this story before.
He's hitting him repeatedly so that he gets low
Yep.
enough.
He's
so
got no
there's
TP.
way. All right, there we go.
He saw him running towards the enemy base, looking to like
All right, they
suicide
called
to a
it.
tower.
I think after you see that, no one wants to be in this game anymore.
Oh.
All right, so this game, the big difference is that Fnatic waited to secure the game before they started having their fun.
Yes. Only when it was won, they started dropping some items.